Hey guys, welcome back to Metroid Other M.
Or as I call it, Metroid Other Moron, and allow us to again walk through through Samus's stupid decisions in this game.
Jordan, I don't mean to be a buzzkill, but I think you might have used that already.
Ooh.
Did I?
I think you might have. That sounds very familiar.
I don't know. I don't remember using that one, but oh well.
We will find
It's
out
okay.
when those parts go up.
Yeah, that's all right.
It'll be a surprise to all. Yeah, in this part, more sort of just Samus doing things, leading up to a fusion reference at the end of the part. I'll leave that where it is.
Samus up to stuff and things.
We've been doing mostly backtracking at this point, right?
Yeah, at this episode, I want to say is like we enter some new territory in this part. But yeah, right at this moment, we're doing a little bit of backtracking. This game, this game is sort of weird in terms of its backtracking, because like the backtracking, there's not a whole lot of it. You're basically just running from like point A to point B, sometimes traversing through paths you've already taken. But they always change up, like so.
Right.
Yeah, like the thing about like Metroid games are like huge on backtracking, right? But the thing is that in Other M, just the backtracking just seems so unintuitive and just pointless. Because I mean, really, all it is point A to point B, and point A and B are just places you've already been.
Yeah, really noticing, like, I guess I really didn't connect this until right now, but like, there really hasn't been a lot of exploring in this game. It's kind of like they kind of just point you to where you need to go, right? Like,
if you want to collect everything in this game, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of going back and forth, but it's just so unnecessary. Like, because they give you all the necessary E-tanks you really need to complete this game. Missiles, as long as you have like around 30 by the end of the game, you're gonna be fine. Like it's if you have more, it makes life easier, but
Though I do have to note that, like, now suddenly she has a weapon she didn't have, so I mean, like, this is the only good or justifiable, like, reason, oh, she didn't have that weapon before. Great, but I don't know why it came from that enemy.
Yeah,
of all
I feel
things.
like it's also been backloading a ton of power-ups. Like, I feel like, did you get like 2 in the last episode, or maybe that was in the last 2 episodes? I feel like you've gotten, for the past like 2 or 3 episodes, you've gotten a new power-up in every single one, which is I don't know, I guess they're gearing you up towards the end, but
there's actually a few more at this point, because Samus is sort of rebelling against Adam. I'm not sure why she just doesn't activate everything at this point, because there's still 2 things that she has left to unlock, I believe.
And one of them they don't even tell you about.
One of them they don't tell you about. It's yeah, that one's tough to gauge. Because like on one hand, it's like, okay, it's a cool throwback to something they sort of teased at the beginning of the game. But on the other hand, if they give you absolutely no hints, like, you could be dying a lot in that final part of the game.
I did die a lot. I died a lot.
So was the last boss?
Like, literally, the only reason I was able to figure it out is because I just mashed buttons eventually. I'm just like, what am I supposed to do?
I'm sure you're not the only one.
Oh, so you're saying this is not like a hidden power-up somewhere in the world, but this is like a thing that you activate by doing some button presses or something?
Yeah. Right, so, but the things you have
to get to that later.
And you have to think back to the training mode. It's like, that's so long ago in the game, and that's the only time they ever tell you of the power-up. It's like, wow, what a stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't remember anything about the beginning of this game, or even most of what has transpired at all.
Yeah, because this game's completely forgettable. But I mean, we'll get into it, I guess, when it happens. But I mean, that entire scene was basically a dick move, because, like, all the effort this game has taken to just restrict all your abilities. And it's like, oh yeah, here's the one thing that will save you, and we're not gonna tell you about it.
The weird thing about the end of the game is that it's not really, and we're nearing that stage. It's not that satisfying. Like, it feels like nothing really gets tied together. It's like, why were we here on the bottle ship in the first place? There was nothing really satisfying about it. Like, in Fusion, like, you're putting an end to, mostly the Federation shenanigans.
Like, I feel like the evil plan in this game could have just went off without a hitch, and nothing would have changed.
Nothing, yeah. Nothing in the world would have suffered from it.
Pretty much.
Okay, what is the evil plan again? Like, is it the bioweapons thing? Like, what is the major
They're
threat?
made a fake mother brain so that they can control Metroids, I assume, for their own purposes?
Except that plan just does not hold water when you think about it.
Well, because, like, they don't really take it anywhere. It's like, oh, yeah, look, we're creating these Metroids to do stuff. But, like, they never actually say what they're gonna do.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess we'll get into it and then further question the plot points as they come up in the game. But yeah, like right now, like it's just backtracking, and I mean, like, you know, usually backtracking involves like using your ability to get past places that you couldn't before. But I mean, like literally, this is backtracking for the sake of backtracking.
I will be collecting like some things along the way. Like I found like a missile expansion and stuff. This isn't even 100% playthrough, so you know it's like.
And those are all pretty unexciting, right? Like those are just like, here's more missiles, here's more health, kind of. That's kind of it, right? Like it's all sort of this. There's nothing like really interesting about the stuff that you're finding. It's just sort of adding on to the bars that you have.
That it doesn't really test you. Like you're praised for your curiosity. Like at that part just now, to get this missile tank, you have to speed boost at that weird ditch. But like that ditch, it's I don't know. Is that a throwback to like the original Metroid games where power-ups were hidden really cryptically, and you would have to blow up like a random part of the ceiling to get an energy tank?
I guess, but I mean, like, the difference here is that you could not even see the ceiling in any normal circumstances. So I mean, like, how do you even know that's there?
Yeah.
Here they sort of indicated from the floor, but man, that's a stretch, because like this whole area just looks like it's been beaten down. It's like, why that spot?
Yeah.
I'm really into when Metroid type games, and I don't think the Metroid games really do this so much, but when there are like weapons that are hidden from you and that like are sort of your reward for actually exploring and going off and doing that sort of thing. I don't know if any Metroid games actually do that, but like I know that Axiom Verge is fairly infamous for doing that. Like some people go through that game and like have completely different weapon sets than other people just based on what they found. And I know that like things like Cave Story does that, where there are some secret weapons in there that you have to do some kind of interesting things to get. I don't know if the Metroid games have done that. Yeah, I guess you guys would know better than me, but
not really.
No, I don't think there's any like. Yeah, I mean, like there's some. Actually, are there any weapons in a Metroid game? And Jordan, you might know this better than me. Are there any like weapons in a Metroid game that you can totally skip? Or do you need everything to like progress in the game?
I mean, there are certain things. Like I know that.
I mean, just 1 second. I think that Samus just had a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air moment. This is the story all about how my life got flipped turned upside down.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, this part can be pretty disorienting because the controls are actually flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, gravity mechanics in a video game. What are you gonna do? They're everywhere.
Sure. I mean, some games, for example, a game like VVVVV is exactly this game.
Yeah, VVVVV is also a Cave Story creator game, is it not?
No. It's by Terry Kavanagh.
Okay.
He does a lot of games, but he's also the guy who did Super Hexagon.
Right.
He's done a bunch of other stuff too, but nothing that I know offhand.
Mm-hmm. It's a good thing that Adam authorized the screw attack, or Samus would be fucked right now. It's like, oh, how do I do this? It's like, I'm just gonna wait.
Well, that's the one she rebelled on.
Oh no, she rebelled on. Was it? Oh, actually, is it the one she rebelled on?
Yeah. Screw attack was the one.
yeah. She rebelled at the screw attack to say screw you to Adam.
You're reading really far into this. Yeah, but going back to Dan's point about Cave Story, like that there's a game that really, it's almost I don't want to say bad design or like poor. Well, what I'm getting at is that it doesn't that there's a game that doesn't really hold your hand in terms of like what weapons you can unlock and stuff. Metroid games, on the other hand, like it definitely does, but I think it's because of the audience. Like it's still targeted towards a Nintendo audience, and that's generally skewed like younger age.
Yeah, there's certain things you can do. I mean, in Metroid, traditionally, you get a more scantily clad picture of Samus, the less items you pick up throughout the playthrough. So it actually, I mean, you can talk about how that's maybe a crappy reward, but it does the sort of highest amount of skill you can do in Metroid is to go through it without getting everything, which is actually kind of interesting because that seems to run pretty counter to what the game's actual goals are, right?
Gravity's a bitch.
Yeah, gravity's sucking right now. But yeah, I mean, like, it is considered a challenge run if you go through a Metroid game without collecting any, like, power-ups.
Yeah, so that makes me think that maybe there are certain things, I don't know exactly what they are, but I would imagine there are certain weapons in those games that you might be able to skip.
I don't think there is, because I think at one point or another, you do need all the weapons in order to get through all the obstacles.
Yeah, they're all pretty crucial for navigation, for sure. I don't know.
I sort of want to try Axiom Verge now that you mention it. That's not a game with like randomly generated levels, right?
No, that is a Metroid. I mean, that's a game that is very intentionally taking a lot of cues from Metroid, and also, from what I understand, sort of playing with them in some interesting ways.
Yeah, I did play the demo at Gamer Camp, I think, one year.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've been hearing a lot about it.
Yeah, I've heard it's great. I wanted to play it last year, like we came out last year, and I just like couldn't find the time. And I feel like it's going to be one of those games. There's a bunch of games that I really want to play that I just have not had the time over the years, and it sucks.
I feel like the grapple beam right there just defied gravity for no reason.
Yeah, the grapple beam's like easily picks up Samus at this point. But I mean, I think she goes slower.
Not
no,
really.
not really. Yeah. That's weird. But I guess how else is she supposed to gain like the inertia to make that jump? Like game wise, I'm pretty sure they. Yeah.
Video games. That's
video
the
games.
answer.
This is
video
actually
game.
reminding me that like one of the only criticisms I can think of for the old Metroid games is that like I've always had problems with the grapple beam and like aiming it properly, and especially when you have to chain grapple beam like points together. I've always felt like that was harder than it needs to be in these games.
I liked how the grapple beam worked in Prime 3.
I think it worked the best there, and that's actually because of the motion, the motion controls. No, because I think that made it actually feel. Yeah, they nailed the motion controls in 3.
I should say I mean I've never played any of the Prime games, so I guess I'm specifically talking about the 2D ones.
Well, yeah, I guess I can see what you mean, because like especially because you only have like certain vectors of direction when it comes to aiming.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in Fusion, like on the Game Boy Advance games, like you had to. I think it was like the R trigger and R and L triggers to aim sort of diagonally.
Oh right.
Yeah.
That's in the old ones too.
I just remember this is a boss fight here.
This is a boss fight. Yep, this is
I hated this boss.
You know what? My biggest gripe with this boss is that this is probably this is Nightmare, I believe. It's one of the most like menacing bosses in Fusion, and here it's such a pushover. Like the boss sort of pattern is pretty. I like it. It's not bad. But just like the design of the boss itself, it doesn't look menacing at all. Like it's so small.
It's kind of cuddly.
Yeah, I can totally see it.
Also, there's like no reason why it should be here. Yeah, in between this boss and the extra like bonus boss at the very end, Fantoon, like there are no reason for any of them to be in this game.
Oh god, Fantoon
I mean,
is
that's
such
a bonus boss. That's a different. Like that's just like bonus bosses don't have to be. They don't have to have any real like narrative necessity because it's a bonus thing, right? So it's just like, oh, here's a fun nod.
Yeah, but I mean more like lore-wise, like it makes no sense why they're here.
No, that's what I'm saying is that if it's a bonus boss, it's like that's allowed to just be like a fan servicey nod. I think. I don't think that has to be. It doesn't really have to worry about lore. I don't think just by way of it being a bonus boss.
The problem with having that in this game, though, is that I think it just slaps the audience in the face one last time. Because
basically,
it's like, oh, look what we did for you guys. We threw in this random boss. But it has absolutely nothing to do with anything.
And also, technically, it shouldn't be here yet.
Yeah, it's because Phantoum's history is a little weird. Phantoum showed up in the wrecked ship, right? In Super Metroid, I believe.
Was it Super Metroid or Fusion? I can't remember.
I want to say Super Metroid. I'm gonna rock a wiki after this. But yeah. Anyway, but the thing about Phantoum is that, like, you know, it's that mysterious boss that shows up in Samus, just like, you know, it's basically like a weird rival of sorts that just shows up, and Samus has to kick his ass because it's pretty powerful. I think it was a missed opportunity to finally bring him back in this game, but have just make no real note of it. Like, she just sort of takes him on.
She sort of just finds it as like, oh, boss battle.
Yeah. There is no reaction from Samus at all. And I don't know if that comes off as hypocritical from us now because we were complaining about the whole, like, lead up to the Ridley fight, but...
Well, I mean, like, that is classic Samus at that point.
Yeah, that's true. It is, you know, on the other hand, it's totally classic Samus. You know, she just sees this gigantic boss and is like, okay, I've got to fight you now. But I think it's because Phantoum is so much, like, mystery behind him.
Did you actually fight Phantoum?
No, but I've seen, like, videos and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much the same for me, because I didn't bother with him.
Yeah, I think Phantoum's a hidden boss, right? Like,
I don't think I even
so.
know who Phantoum is.
It's a giant brain, which isn't saying a lot in a Metroid title, but...
Oh, a giant brain, you don't say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, we've definitely never seen those in the Metroidverse.
Yeah, or the Star Fox verse, or the
I still want to know why he's here.
I mean, see, I'm sorry, I went quiet there because I was just waiting for that. It's so lackluster. Like, the face, yeah, it's creepy in sorts, but just the animation, it looks so stiff. Like, I'm not grossed out or appalled by it at all. I'm just sort of like, yikes, that's a thing.
Put your mask back on.
Oh, that thing is Phantoum.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I know that thing, it's pretty creepy. But it looks a lot like the alien mother in Echo the Dolphin. It's not as creepy as the alien mother in Echo the Dolphin, who is like a thing that, like, I still see and it sort of gives me chills. I hate that goddamn thing.
Well,
I hate it so much.
Echo is it's an experience.
I still
some
never
kind
played
of
that
experience,
game.
that's for sure.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna ask you, I mean, Dan, I know you're seeing this for the first time, but
Yeah.
that part where, you know, it sort of just cuts, like straight cuts while Samus is running to the outside of the ship. What do you guys think of that? Like, that's...
I thought that was BS.
Yeah, you know what? I think I was looking up Phantoum at the time and I kind of missed it.
Oh,
Sorry.
Never gonna see it again.
Well,
Once in a lifetime chance.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think that it was just bad design because, oh, now you can play it, now you can't. Now you can play it, now you can't. Like, make up your mind.
Like, the thing is, like, it totally shifts its tone from the rest of the game because all of a sudden it becomes, like, very cinematic almost for, like, you know, like in a film, in a sci-fi film, sort of like Alien, where, like, you know, it just sort of straight cuts to, like, another thing and then brings us back to, like, you know, one of the characters, but it does that to build suspense. Here, they sort of just do, this is the only time they do it, and they just do two cuts, and it still doesn't really lead up to, like, much.